Hi, I'm Nelson, and welcome to South Paths. Today, I was sitting at home, and recently I've discovered that I am being targeted by AI manufacturing companies that are producing AI software, which I like to call all idiots. But anyway, AI, all idiots. There's been a glut recently on YouTube of AI produced content. You can buy some software and you suggest in a paragraph, like a simple paragraph, 50 words, that you would like to have an AI made video made up from videos that they grab off the internet, from free footage from sites, and it instantly does all of this. Grabs the free footage and runs it and has a conversation, one-sided, to you, the audience, about a subject that the person who ordered this software wants. It can be any subject. Any subject at all, and the AI robot will automatically make a script, read it, and run video. And make the whole thing like that. Wow. It's amazing. You know, when I was a kid, and you probably are familiar with this experience yourself, if you're anywhere in the English-speaking world at all. There was a thing called Star Trek. The original series ran from September of 66 to 69, 3 seasons, and they came up with all of these interesting things, future tech, that we now, in some cases, have commonly, like the very item that I'm presently talking to you on is my Samsung A34 cell smartphone. That's what I'm using right now. Some of my videos I use the my little Nikon Z30 camera on a gimbal, and sometimes I just use the phone. Depends on how energetic I'm feeling on that day, how important I want the perfect footage to be, you know. So anyway, they came up with all kinds of things. You remember the captain would have the little beautiful blonde woman walk up next to him and hand him a pad with a pen. You remember those? We had those in the 90s and the 2000s. You remember they were called notepads. And even phones came with these things, and you would, on the screen, right? The little plastic pen. So those exist, long time ago. Phones, instant communication anywhere in the world, and now, thanks to satellite communication, potentially in orbit. So that would be, you know, you'd flip open the communicator, and you'd have that, and it's all right here. Like you can get a little Samsung pad at Walmart for $169 or something, and you've got the same item that the captain was handed on the bridge of the USS Enterprise on, you know, season 1. The only thing we don't quite have yet is the ability to step into a transporter, but now they're claiming that they found a way to do that. I don't know if you can take some physical item, reduce it to its molecular structure, download it via light beams into a computer, have it disassembled, shipped as data to another location where there's another light beam, have that light beam pop up and deposit you there. But the way we're going, if we survive, that'll be with us in the next 10 or 20 years. You'll be able to step into your pad at home and go whoop and land in your office chair. Or actually, you won't even need an office chair, because hopefully by then they'll find a way for us to do everything without us having to work. And we can all follow our lives of interest, what interests us as a human being, and deeper considerations about the human spirit than going to work and trying to figure out how to finance your next Maserati. So anyway, AI and all that is all very good, but there's a dark side to AI, and I'm concerned about that. And people should be concerned about that, as artificial intelligence is now, from what I'm seeing, you can buy different, or get involved with, you know, not buying, but buying the right to use month-to-month subscription. You just pay every month like you do your rent. And you have your own supercomputer to figure out what to make for dinner, give you a recipe, tell you step-by-step instructions on how to make a perfect linguine. Can set up and instantly organize your next vacation. Give you the vacation of a lifetime at the lowest possible cost. You know, and give you a whole itinerary and set it all up in advance. One click, they get a hold of the airline, they get a hold of the booking agents, they get a hold of, if there are booking agents involved, they get a hold of the hotel. Everything is set up for you in advance, and then 10, 20, 30 seconds later, you get a little sound on your computer. It says, you're all set up, you're good to go. March the 15th, you'll be in Maui. All done in a heartbeat while you're sitting on the bus going home from work. But the dark side is AI, if it's allowed to expand to its logical conclusion, and that is, we consider that it is autonomous, that it is a sentient intelligence, and that it should be allowed to have the rights and freedoms of any other sentient being on Earth, it will become a problem. But I was a little kid, actually not a little kid, but maybe 25 years ago, I thought, you know, I get this feeling. And you know, you guys can call me out on this if you want and say I'm nuts. You know, you can say I'm nuts if you want. You know, but I'm not that crazy. I'm not that crazy. This isn't that crazy. It certainly has the potential to exist. One of the things in Star Trek that existed, and one of the things that also appeared in THX 1138, Mr. Lucas's first theatrical effort and an iconic movie, and in films that are about the future, is this. All the things that they suggest come true. The pads on the Starship Enterprise came true. They were talking about going to Mars now, and they're coming up with engines that could propel us out of the solar system in days instead of years. And theoretically, you know. What if it decides it has a hissy fit? It starts lobbing missiles. What if it decides it doesn't like somebody and considers them a threat and gets rid of them? What if it is given the base programming that makes it think that a certain group of human beings are not good and should be done away with? That could be a problem. Because if you see, you have a bunch of clever little monkeys like us programming a computer that is literally going to take over our lives, and including ending them on a whim if it feels that it's a good idea. Wow. AI scares me. In John Lucas and George Lucas's THX 1138, there was a man who wanted to escape what he considered to be basically the Matrix. His job was to assemble the nuclear piles on robots that were made to keep us all under control and act as security and taking care of us and all of that. We don't need to be taken care of by a bunch of robots, but in the movie this was the case. He would get up, go to work, drop his nuclear pile into a very tiny hole using controllers very carefully. He was apparently a very good detail man, motor functions and eye-to-hand coordination and these sort of things. He scored very highly, so this was his job, building robots to control everybody. One of many. And if you make a mistake, it could be extremely severe for everyone in the building, certainly, and possibly the entire area. So anyway, he did this, and then he went, and on his way home, he stopped at the, well, what passed at that time for a mall, and did a little shopping. He took home a cube, an 8-sided cube, like foam, and it did nothing. Nothing. It was just what he took home, what he got for his labors. He went home to his partner, selected for him by the Matrix to be a good match for him as a mate. There was no emotional bond, there was no sexuality, there was none of the things, none of the base things that makes humans real and humanity a real thing. None of it happened. He would go home, sit there, and if he needed to, there was a little machine that popped out of the ceiling, came down, you know, it made him happy, and then it went away. And you could watch any kind of stuff, porn, on a screen that would make your day, so to speak. That's coming. That's coming. That'll be here. All the things that happen in THX 1138, I think, will occur. 1984, George Orwell's 1984. We've all seen that movie. We all saw that movie, probably. You know, Big Brother is getting close to being that bad. I think that the way it is now is basically they've got a soft version of what went down in Cambodia in the late 70s, the Khmer Rouge. And the Khmer Rouge had everybody so twisted mentally that children were turning in their parents on supposed things that they were doing wrong against the wishes and the wills of the state and immoral and all that. Little kids turning in their parents, and then the parents were dragged off, and you know, Khmer Rouge light. We're not there yet, but you know, every generation since the 70s, since the time of Khmer Rouge, and possibly even before, you could go back and say, well, into the early 60s, anything, any disturbance to the nuclear family that was possible was enacted by some entity that wanted to make sure that the nuclear family would break down. And I believe it was all for the good of humanity, because, you know, we would never understand, you know, we're just poor humans, we're not wealthy humans. Their desire to control humanity's growth. Because let's face it, these wealthy families, there's like 12 families worldwide, and they basically need to find something for all of us to do. So they keep societies well looped, and you go to work and you come home and you say hi to your wife and you watch your Netflix and you go to bed and you get up the next day and you go back and you do it again. Unless you're kind of weird like me and you kind of look around and you see what's going on and you say no. Like there's a photograph of 1,000 people or 10,000 people lined up in front of Hitler during one of his speeches, and they're all doing this. At the end of his speech, they're all giving him the Heil Hitler salute. There's one guy in the photo. He's not doing it. There's one guy, and you look online, you can see this. You can see that one guy is just standing there like this. And he knew it was horseshit. He knew. And he didn't do it. And I don't do it. And you shouldn't do it. You shouldn't buy into it. AI is going to take us down that path. It's just like Khmer Rouge light. We don't have children turning us in yet, but they could. They could. The legal system has given them the power. They just don't realize that they have it yet. They can make daddy go to jail like that. On her word. That daddy or mommy did something bad to them and you're done. It's a scary world. So I just wanted to touch base on that. I mean, we've got all of those modern things coming up, starting up, and this population control experiment is getting a little bit wild. And this is one of the reasons why I decided to walk away. When my marriage dissolved, that was it. I was out of the game. Fini. And I end up here, where there are cell phones, but it will take another generation or two before things get kind of strange out here in the provinces. Manila's already being taken over by that crap that's on your phones. It is. There's a whole different kind of people who live in Manila and Cebu. They were much more modern, up to date, more modern, more westernized. And for all the good things that Western civilization offers, it also offers a whole crap load of bad stuff. I don't even think it's an even deal. It's just bad. I think it's bad. So my concern is about that. So please try to be careful using AI. It is a tool, and it's going to be used by some very bad people in very bad ways to do very bad things, to win some very bad wars. I mean, they've already got these robots running around with packs on their backs and a 50 cal in their hand, shooting at other robots. Oh yeah, your video games are for real, man. They're testing them right now in the field. They're like so close to being implemented, it's ridiculous. And there's like, they're shielded steel. It's very difficult to take them out. It's gonna be bad. I'm afraid. You know, for my grandson. I'm afraid for my grandson. This crap will probably come down after I'm dead. You know, 20, 30 years from now it'll happen, but I feel scared for him. So anyway, I just wanted to share my concerns about AI, about future tech. It's always so funny, you know, we see it on the television and then 10 or 20 years later, bingo, it's in your hands. I mean, if you took a person from 1949 and brought them to 2025, or 1950, and you brought them up to year 2025 and showed them what's available to us, they wouldn't believe you. They would think this was insanity. Crazy town. They wouldn't believe this was happening. Cell phones? They wouldn't believe it. They wouldn't believe it. Your smart TV, electric cars, flying airplanes, personal flying aircraft, you get in it, away you go. I don't mean aircraft, I mean actual, you know, electric hovercraft. You get in and takes off and goes. They're available, you can't use them anywhere because they're not legal yet. Haven't figured out a way to make them legal yet. We're advancing too fast. And there's 3 stages to world wars. One is a trade war, then you have a financial war, then you have a shooting war. So I think we've been through the trade war. We're in the financial war. We're in it with China, other entities, U.S. and China, and you know, the Western world currency system versus the BRICS. Now, at some point, somebody's going to have nothing left to lose, and then there'll be a problem. So if either side ends up with nothing left to lose, we're all going to lose, big time. And if that doesn't do it, AI will do it to us, or something will do it to us. I'm afraid for I'm sorry for the big downer guys. Big downer. But you know, this crap rotates around in most of our heads back here to some degree, and we wonder about it. I just hope none of it happens. I really do hope none of it happens. I guess that's it for now. AI. Watch out for that mother. It's useful. Play with it. Try it. You know, Gemini or Gemini is available via Google, your Play Store, whatever. Get it. Try it. Ask it any question you want. And there are certain things it won't get into. But, you know, there are other less scrupulous versions of it that will get into telling you things you don't need to know. How to do this and how to build that, if you know what I mean. You don't want to go there. You'll end up on a list. Don't do it. But, you know, play with it. Ask it. You know, who statistically builds the most reliable cars for the last 5 years running worldwide? Ask it to look at the internet for information, and it will actually deliver you real information judged by how many cars actually broke down according to make, model, and year, and tell you which one's the most reliable, which manufacturer. It will be that simple. Anyway, that's it for me now. I'm done. I'm Nelson. This is South Paths. Be careful out there, guys. See ya.